It is the 8th day of January 2026. Welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. We start off with our first headlining story this evening. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has warned that peace and stability in Uganda will not be disrupted under his leadership. Museveni issued the warning while campaigning in Lira City, where he also responded to political attacks from rival candidates contesting the city's parliamentary seat. The president emphasized that peace remains the foundation for development and national progress.
Having skipped Lira district and city in October 2025 due to unavoidable circumstances, the NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni returned to the area on Thursday evening as part of his ongoing campaign trail. At a campaign rally held at Lira City Golf Course grounds, Museveni received a historic welcome from residents. The golf course grounds were filled with NRM supporters drawn from both Lira district and Lira city.
I warmly welcome you home, Your Excellency.
Health Minister Jane Ruth Acheng, the NRM Vice Chairperson for Northern Uganda Hamson Obua, and the Speaker of Parliament Anton Tamong were at the center of coordinating the Lira City rally.
And I wish to prophesy that in the performance of the national resistance movement under your leadership, from 1996 to date, I can state that the 2026 general elections will be your best performance in Lira City, Lira District, and Lango Sub-region.
I want to request you, Your Excellency, that you request your daughter Mongi to leave Dr. Cheng in Lira City. Because when you appointed her as a minister, the same facilities that she gets as a minister under your government, you are the same facilities that are used to fight your people in your NRM government.
In her address, Speaker Anita Ntamong directed her remarks at the Gender and Labour Minister Betty Amongi, who is facing off with Health Minister Jane Ruth Acheng for Lira City parliamentary seat.
Your Excellency,
Adwong President where?
as a party, we are not going to allow this. And if we give you a responsibility, you should not use it to come and fight us in NRM. And Your Excellency, I am speaking as the second national vice chairperson. I know I am your vice, but I must do work for you to get a good party. We cannot continue hobnobbing with the people who do not believe in us. Your Excellency, that patience of yours, maybe enough is enough.
In his address, President Museveni focused on wealth creation, development and peace, vowing that there will be no compromise with anyone seeking to drag Uganda back into its dark past.
So, Kuch means Donglobo. Now, when you hear people want to disturb peace, they are against Donglobo, and we shall not allow them. I really want to kindly advise everybody, nobody should attempt to disturb the Kuch of Uganda. Don't try. So those who are playing around, we will not allow them to disturb the peace of Uganda.
According to the president, excessive politicking remains the biggest threat to Uganda's wealth creation and development agenda.
Some people think politics is just playing games. Me, I'm in politics to do the work of God and the work of Africa and the work of the Lakwaras. I don't want our Lakwaras to be slaves. So you should always listen carefully to what we tell you, because we are not politicians looking for that.
On the issues of restocking and compensation, President Museveni assured voters in Lango Sub-region that the process has already been completed, with funds awaiting disbursement.
Where is the money, Omona? Where is this money now? Omona, come.
The money, 80 billion Uganda shillings, is now with the office of the Prime Minister.
Office in Kampala?
Yes, sir.
On the account for restocking?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so the money is now there. But now, the issue was now, they were trying to use the other old list, which had a lot of problems. When they brought it, people said, but this is the list which we were questioning.
As of Thursday, 8th January 2026, President Museveni has campaigned in 106 districts across the country. However, he will return to some districts as he prepares to conclude his campaign trail from Kampala on Tuesday, 13th January 2026. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Residents of northern Uganda are set to receive compensation for cattle lost during past insurgencies. President Museveni announced that the compensation will be paid in cash during his campaign visit to Kole district. He said the move is intended to restore livelihoods and promote economic recovery in the region.
The playground of Achulbanya Primary School in Kole district hosted NRM supporters during the belated rally of the party's presidential flag bearer Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. During the campaigns, President Museveni disclosed that his pledge to compensate the people of northern Uganda for the cattle lost during wars will be fulfilled in form of cash as determined by the cabinet.
That's why I missed the rally here. It was that money I had to go and check cabinet.
Enomio enopo beda tieka ni rally pieno dokcheni cabinet mengi yo atut kopmedo kalangi choli kede teso yuba anyena menotio katukede.
When I've been campaigning, the cabinet met and said, now instead of the cows, let's give money.
Chamendung di medeke de campaign re cabinet ongio document cha ya paparacha oteko boni kakamio jo doka bicha beach wekdo mi chente.
I said, okay.
Ente ye okosho.
So then the money is now available.
Additionally, in his pledges to the residents of Kole, President Museveni announced that government would undertake the excavation of fish ponds to combat poverty and special funds for unemployed graduates and ghetto youth.
After Kuch, the next contribution is Dong Lobo. Development. Like the road we came on. Like the electricity. The schools you are talking about. The health centers. We don't have time to go into all those. But you can see them with your eyes.
The NRM National Vice Chairperson for Northern, Dennis Hampson Oboa, along with the National Second Vice Chair, female, emphasized that a vote for Museveni is a vote for peace, development, and wealth creation.
Your Excellency, allow me to tell the people of Kole briefly that a vote for President Museveni and the NRM is a vote for ensuring that the center of gravity of the people of Uganda, which is peace, is sustained. A vote for President Museveni and the NRM is a vote for protecting the development that President Museveni has so far brought to Lango.
And the insecurity that was in this region was unbearable. Now we are celebrating the peace and the security in this country.
During the campaigns, the director of Akalo Progressive SS contributed 10 million shillings to support Museveni's campaigns. Tomorrow, on Friday, Museveni will meet NRM leaders from West Nile in Arua City and those from the Acholi sub-region in Gulu City. Philip Aguta and Gloria Guitawinji for UBC News in Kole.
The First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni, has urged women to actively mobilize voters to elect leaders of integrity. She made the call while launching the All-Women for Museveni celebration organized by the NRM Women's League at Kololo.
Thousands of women, young and old, trekked to Kololo Independence Grounds for the launch of All Women Form 7, an event organized by the NRM National Women's League to reflect on the grand achievements of the NRM party and how to consolidate the gains. Gracing the colorful celebration included the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, the Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo, Minister of State for Gender and Culture, NRM National Women League, women drawn from across the country, among others. Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni saluted women leaders and the women fraternity for coming together to show solidarity in celebrating the gains of the NRM government.
This is a beautiful day for the women of Uganda, and I want to thank you for including me.
Olunaku luno lunaku lulungi nnyo eri abakyala ba Uganda, era maama yeebaza okuba nti naye wali wano naffe.
I have no doubt in my mind that we all miss the presence of His Excellency the President in this gathering this afternoon. And believe me, he would have loved to be here to receive your love and affection that you always save for him alone. I also must convey my sincere appreciation to you for the support His Excellency the President and the NRM leadership has experienced as we have traversed the country in this campaign season. May God bless you all for that love and commitment. Thank you for refusing to forget where the NRM government has brought us from by the grace of God. We remember the fear, the economic challenges, the lack of critical infrastructure, political instability, and the limited opportunities women had to do anything, much less influence public life and to shape their destinies. This all changed when God used the NRM government and leadership to bring hope, and among its many programs, the advancement of women.
The Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo, as a woman icon inspiring women across the country, implored women to take advantage of women uplifting campaigns. The prevailing peace and opportunities under the NRM government to engage in income-generating activities.
And as His Excellency the President has always reminded us, let me use this opportunity to call upon all of us to continue drawing our attention to the 4 sectors where wealth and jobs are found, including commercial agriculture, industry and manufacturing, ICT and services.
Mrs. Janet Museveni asked women as mothers of the nation to use their voice to promote peace and encourage people to vote because every vote counts. Mrs. Museveni also appealed to women across the country to aim higher, consolidate the gains achieved, and begin a women's bank to promote their financial.
Now, as we draw close to the election day, I'd like to address you as critical stakeholders in the future of Uganda.
Nga bwe tusemberedde okuba akalulu, maama ayogera gye tuli, nfe nga ab'enkizo mu nteekateeka eno.
As mothers of this nation, I call upon you to use your platform to promote peace. Use your platforms to urge Ugandans of voting age to exercise their constitutional right to vote leaders of integrity. Many people neglect to engage in the election process because they believe their voice does not matter. Yet every vote counts in determining the future the future governance of our nation.
We are here to show that when RM says that they have empowered women, it's just not on paper, but it's real, that women have been empowered. We have thousands of women. We have more than 50,000 women today, only women. Very smart, very happy. That's a sign of growth, that's a sign of development, that's a sign of peace that Mzee Museveni has brought to this country.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
The Electoral Commission has commenced the nationwide dispatch of polling materials ahead of next week's elections. The Electoral Commission chairperson, Justice Simon Byabakama, assured stakeholders of a timely, transparent and well-organized polling exercise. We have more.
The Electoral Commission has dispatched election material that include ballot papers, ballot boxes, voters' registers, biometric voter verification machines, and other election-related stationery. The chairperson of the Commission, Justice Simon Byabakama, flagged off the first consignment, destined for 12 districts, and assured the public of the safety and security of the materials.
As we continue with the process of packing and dispatching what is ready, so that we ensure there is timely delivery of the polling kit or the polling materials in the districts, such that by the time we come to 15th, every district has the required number of kits ready for dispatch to the respective polling stations in those electoral districts.
Out of the country's 146 districts and 50,739 polling stations, the Commission says polling materials for 50 districts have already been organized and are ready for dispatch.
We commenced on packing of non-generic materials. These are materials which are customized to polling stations. Each polling station has materials which are different from the other. And this type of packing is so critical and meticulous that any slight mistake, it means different materials will go to a different polling station, and there will be no voting at that polling station.
The Commission has reiterated its commitment for completing all preparations in time and pledged that there will be no delays on polling day.
So that on polling day, the materials are adequately and promptly dispatched or delivered at the respective polling stations to enable polling to start within the prescribed time, that is 7 a.m.
Polling is scheduled on 15th of January 2026. However, the Commission is still handling petitions arising from the nomination process, which may affect voting arrangements with expectations of further adjustments.
Even though that person may be there because the printing had taken place by the time the decision was made, measures will be put in place to inform or to notify the voters that that person who is on the ballot paper, because of other issues or legal issues, the person is no longer a candidate, although he or she is on the ballot paper. But
other concerns include voter sensitization on the use of biometric machines, which the Commission says are intended to enhance transparency in the election process.
Each ballot paper will be scanned again with this machine. Be scanned. Any ballot paper which is not identified or recognized or confirmed by this scan or by this machine will be put aside. So those of you who want to go and ballot stuff, Zibasanz, because this machine will identify ballot papers which have not been properly issued to the legitimate voter.
The delivery of polling materials is expected to be completed by the 10th of this month. Parliamentary candidates seeking copies of the voters' register have been urged to meet the required fees to access them. Abdu Nasiri Lubwama for UBC.
President Lauryn Museveni has directed Prime Minister Robin Anabanja to investigate a multi-billion shillings irrigation project in Pakwach district. The project, worth over 64 billion shillings, is expected to have failed to meet its poverty alleviation objectives since 2018.
94-year-old Muzei Faustin Chunyai is the eldest clan member of the Pateni community in Pakwach district. Chunyai is a retired magistrate in Uganda and a brainchild of the Wadilai irrigation scheme project in Pakwach district.
His Excellency the President of Uganda came for the first time in the history of our country to visit Wadilai. And that was the day when he received me, Chunyai Sostino, a member of the NRA.
When government conceived the project in 2018, a lot has been registered. However, the irrigation project intended to benefit over 2,000 farmers has not created impact the president intended it to bring to poor communities in Wadilai in Pakwach district. The Prime Minister Robin Anabanja today spent part of the day inspecting the project, following President Museveni's directive to make sure that there is value for money in the 64 billion shillings injected in the irrigation scheme.
On his directive, he directed sometime back in October that I come back here and follow up on this project and make sure that it is delivered to the people and fulfill the intended purpose. Because you realize that we got money from African Development Bank.
However, the local leaders in Pakwach district informed the Prime Minister of the several challenges experienced, ranging from the contractor who failed to complete the construction works, causing flooding into the farmers' gardens.
The contractor does not listen to the district, and for us, when we recommend to the line ministry manning the project, we are not taken seriously. Poor coordination and whatsoever. The issue of the contractor, we battled with it. There were heaps of blame on district, but we were rendered powerless.
Most of these issues have come up also in our site inspections before we got the new contractor on board. We agreed on the scope, and the bulk of the scope is to address the challenges in the command area. As we can see, we can get water now from the other large structure. Now,
must it take the president to come for a public rally for you to get to know these challenges?
And it was really very difficult for our local farmers to do leveling using hand hoe. That is the reason why it is taking long for the farmers to embrace it completely.
The flooding. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I'm delighted that you took on the assignment that the President delegated you to do on his behalf, to supervise this multi-billion project that has otherwise not realized the full objectives why government has injected this loan money.
Despite the challenges, some of the farmers said they have registered progress out of the project.
Then, weekly I harvest twice. Each time when we harvest, at least I harvest a minimum of 6 bags of African eggplant, and each bag costs around 80,000 when they come and buy. So it means in a week at least I can raise around 1,020,000, and I am able to pay my children at school. And personally, when I joined the scheme and I started producing, I had to go and upgrade because I am a teacher by profession. Though I was getting a lot of challenges, I had to go and upgrade at the Uganda Matters University for Bachelor of Science in Agriculture.
The success stories, I'm also here, I need to register that I'm paying 3 children. I paid one in Seta High, he has now joined me in university.
The Prime Minister advised the farmers to utilize the irrigation scheme by growing high-value crops in order to realize the intended benefit of the project.
But if you are using this irrigation scheme, you need to go for high-value crops, like our teacher is doing. By the way, green pepper is another crop that can make you rich in just a short period of time. Green pepper.
The United States has expanded a pilot program requiring applicants from selected countries to post refundable visa bonds of up to $15,000. The move, affecting Uganda among others, has sparked concern globally. We have the details.
Uganda is among the 38 countries whose citizens will now be required to dig deeper into their pockets for a chance to travel to the United States under the new U.S. visa bond pilot program.
So they have said this is going to apply to the B1 and B2 visas. People getting other kinds of visas are not part of the requirement of the bonds.
Yes.
Now, and a lot of people who are doing government work would still go and do their business. A lot of people who are going for certain other activities will still do their business.
Athletics, sports,
World Cup. Still do their business. And they will be giving, the World Cup is coming
in the next couple
and
of
America wants us there.
Of course,
to watch the games. So they would have to create certain windows. But you want to say, where are they coming from? We've seen a changing in dynamics. America, the current Trump government, is really against massive inflows of foreigners. Now, but even within the Americans themselves, they don't agree. Because some of them know it is the foreigners who build our economy. And Uganda has been very hospitable.
Any citizens or national traveling to the United States of America on a passport issued by one of the 38 listed countries and who is otherwise eligible for a B1 or B2 visa must post a bond of $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000 refundable upon timely departure from the United States. According to Dr. Fred Muhumuza, the bond is prohibitively high and is likely to act as a major deterrent, especially for ordinary Ugandans.
Those that they are trying to watch. And that's why the power is being given to the migration officer, the visa officer, the consular officer.
Yes.
Who's going to be interviewing. He will be looking at you physically.
Vet you.
Studying your face expressions, trying to see, are you worried, are you scared, are you yourself?
How are you responding to
this degree, who is going to be paying for you? Then we check your bank statement. All of a sudden you have 80 million there.
Like how?
I've asked you, what do you do? You have never earned $1 million. Now how do you get the 80 million? All that information will inform the decision.
Of the 5, or the 10,
5, the
or
10,
the
15, including even a stopping of the visa.
Exactly.
People haven't forgotten that is the ultimate.
Yes.
I don't even need your bond. I've denied you the visa.
Completely. Within the East African community, Burundi and Tanzania are the other countries whose nationals will be affected by the new measure as per the update issued on January 6, 2026.
Countries have a right to do that. Let's also sober up. Let's build our own Uganda in any way. I've been out there, man. Do you know what degrees are in Canada today? People are below 20 degrees. You are like sitting in a fridge.
Yes, actually.
We can't even sit like we are sitting here.
Yes.
So who wants to be there?
No.
Places in Russia go up to minus 57. You can't even drive a car. The oil in the car is frozen. Who wants to be there? I want to believe we can even negotiate this on the lower band.
Yes.
Even say anybody with a government certification, the government of Uganda takes responsibility to bring this person back because we have screened, we have rated them. So please don't impose these bans. So I expect the government of Uganda to respond by engaging the government of the US over this so that Ugandans can formally continue to go. Because this should be part of the tenfold growth. It is sale of services.
Dennis Igoa for UBC. Doctor, we're always grateful for your time.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories after these messages.
The program has met our expectations in that it has been able to give us business.
They gave us a contract where we did a renovation at their head office. MTN trained us in their procurement process and also the IT technology.
I was struggling with managing the finances of the company. So when I went for that training, I was able to improve in financial literacy and management.
Are you a female entrepreneur looking to do business with MTN? Log on to www.mtn.co.ug/AWE. Together, our progress is unstoppable.
Kabogozi, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namaguni to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. You walk on the era. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you. From the Pakabanda. You can register for NSSF. I'll contribute to your Simati life. Never deep down in the Marara. Make NSSF payments. No Hala Okubekarangala. NSSF sure is not far. But this tomorrow Kuhika Gotido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account to Ubeda. NSSF, a better life.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Blue Christmas is near. Spread the festive cheer all December with great deals right here. Shop online with Market by Momo. We deliver. Log on to market.momo.africa. Use the MyMTN app or the new Momo app to register and shop online. Market by Momo is from MTN and powered by MasterCard.
Unisteel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded Unis TMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers, to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength. Because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
Welcome back from that break. NRM flag bearer for Kabwedi constituency, Dr. Patrick Wakida, has pledged to prioritize the Bukedi development plan. He made the pledge while campaigning alongside other NRM flag bearers in Chiboko district.
With the general election slated for the 15th of this month, NRM flag bearers in Chiboko district, led by Kabwedi constituency MP aspirant Dr. Patrick Wakida, have committed themselves to promoting effective representation aimed to fostering socio-economic transformation of the electorate.
Our problems are known. We have bad health service. We have poor infrastructure of the schools. We have bad roads. We have poverty smelling in the houses. And for me, what I am saying is that we must start to look at those things 360 degrees.
My major focus is maternal child health. For example, by policy, every sub-county is supposed to have a health center 3. But communities like Gorigori sub-county do not have any. Bulangira sub-county does not have a health center 3.
Dr. Wakida said poor service delivery across key sectors has significantly contributed to poverty in the district, calling for urgent intervention through effective parliamentary representation.
If you improve a health service, what percentage of poverty reduces? If you improve education sector, what kind of poverty do you work out? And what kind of intervention do we need to bring? Those I am still designing them. As soon as I get to Parliament, I will be saying we need more resources. We need more resources to this community.
Community members highlighted the challenges they face and tasked the aspirants to address them if elected to Parliament.
Abasawo batuuka saawa 8 nya bakole ku balwadde tebafaayo omwavu ekiro olina kufa bufwi.
Chibuku District Woman Member of Parliament aspirant Sylvia Katoko Damba, also known as Sobi, said her priority will be lobbying for quality education for the girl child to curb school dropouts in the district.
Education of the girl child. Because it being a rural community, most girls drop out of school, sometimes because of insufficient career guidance, but also lack of some scholastic materials or requirements for them.
As the country heads into the general elections, the aspirants called upon the Electoral Commission to intensify civic education, particularly on the biometric system to be used during the electoral exercise. Charity Marian Imnat and Muhammad Diga reporting for you.
Parliamentary aspirant Gabriel Aridru has expressed optimism about winning the seat. However, he raised concern over alleged external influence that could affect the credibility of the electoral process. We have more.
As Uganda heads to the polls next week on Thursday, candidates for the presidency and the parliamentary seats say they are fully prepared to await election outcomes from the evening of polling day. In Ivura County, Arua District, Gabriel Ajedra Aridru is among the 6 candidates contesting for the parliamentary seat, and he remains confident of victory in the upcoming election.
I expect to win this with a landslide, and for the simple reason that there is a lot of dissatisfaction among the electorate with the flag bearer for Vura constituency or Arua district.
Although running as an independent, Ajara says he has been campaigning for NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Vura has always been an NRM stronghold. Yes, there are some issues with the party leadership in the district, but the core support for the president, it is solid. And therefore, I expect His Excellency the President to win with over 80%. In all my rallies, I've campaigned for him, I've campaigned for myself.
He has raised concerns over what he describes as external interference in Vura County politics, warning that such influence could lead to vote irregularities as results are tallied.
I know there are foreign actors who are trying to influence the politics in Vura. I will not name names, but we know them. Let the people of Vura decide who they want their leaders to be. They cannot impose candidates on us. If elections are free and fair, which we hope there will be, definitely they will be surprised that that influence will not be able to work at all. People are very, very vigilant, by the way.
Ajara further argues that Vura constituency was poorly represented in the 11th Parliament, a gap that he says he intends to address if elected.
There are quite a number of things which we started, but they were not completed. One of them is the rural electrification, as I said. We have done a number of rural electrification in many areas, but quite a number of them also have not been done. So that is going to be restarted. And the 2, our district headquarters, something I'm very passionate about, that we need to have our administrative offices moved from Arua city back into Vura where we are. And 3, also we need the construction of a district hospital.
The Vura County parliamentary race features Gabriel Ajera Aridru Independent, Charity Lenia NRM, the incumbent Yovana Drico on Independent, alongside 3 other candidates vying to represent the constituency in the 12th Parliament of Uganda. Joseph Odama, UBC News.
Thank you, Joseph Odama. The Church of Uganda Diocese of Tororo has held special prayers calling for peace and stability ahead of the general elections. Bishop Egesa Samuel Bogere urged Ugandans to prioritize national unity beyond politics.
The service was attended by the Church of Uganda leaders from across the region, as well as Mulindwa Rogers, a Deputy Communications Manager at the NRM Secretariat, Deputy Mobilizer for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, together with NRM flag bearers at various levels.
And I want to mention one thing, then I will end, is the issue of peace. For the first time, I think, in the history of this country, after many years, we have peace in this country. And our prayer is that we all become ambassadors, we all become champions of peace, that there will be peace in this country before election is as it is now, during election is, and after election is.
Mulindwa said the country needs spiritual intervention, which informed the decision to hold the prayer service.
As the country gets closer to the general elections, we need the spiritual intervention. We need this divine intervention. So my purpose of coming here is not to pray for me as Rogers Mulindwa, but when I went down on the knees and the bishop prayed and the archdeacons prayed, they were praying for the whole country.
He further expressed confidence in the NRM victory in the general elections.
The whole region has given us that support, and Mzee can win here with even 95% or more. Now we have to make sure that he doesn't win alone, but he wins with the flag bearers for parliament.
Residents of Tepeth County in Moroto District have outlined key development priorities ahead of the elections. They include roads, water for production, health facilities and schools.
6 days to the presidential and parliamentary elections, the NRM flag bearer for Tepeth County in Moroto District, Michael Wilson Lokawa, alongside the Moroto NRM chairperson and other party cadres, spent Thursday campaigning in the mountainous areas, urging the Tepeth community to vote for him and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni come 15th January. Canvassing voters in the mountainous areas of Moroto is challenging, with vehicles struggling to access some locations, forcing campaign teams to move on foot to reach remote communities. Residents of Loperiperi, Katkekire and Loyaraboth decry the poor road network, long distances to health and education services and water scarcity during the dry season.
Still in Center 2, we needed something which can make our people benefit a lot in forms of infrastructure, which can upgrade the Center 2, Center 3 or 4, because it's in the hard to reach areas.
Animals trespass, so they are urging government, in case if they can, put a fence here above primary school. Now here above primary school has only male teachers. For them, they are also requesting for gender sensitivity. They need female teachers also in here above primary school. Now even these teachers, since this hard to reach areas, accommodation for teachers is not.
Some places of water treatment for animals. Those are the things. Then also some part of some agri things like some gardens which are good that can sample for our people.
But imagine now mothers coming from down the motorcycle. It's a very big challenge. So we needed really government to intervene on a road network. There is to improve our roads so that we can be accessible to everyone.
Lokawa promised the Tepeth community that once they vote for NRM flag bearers, their concerns will be addressed.
The manifesto is focused on 3 principles: peace, education, and development.
Tepeth County comprises 2 sub-counties, 11 parishes, 64 villages, and approximately 9,400 voters. Maureen Iga compiled the story.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength, because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
Welcome back from that break, and more stories this evening. Residents of Busuju County in Mityana district have commended government for improved service delivery. The praise followed an inspection tour of government projects by officials from the Office of the President.
Business activities were temporarily disrupted along the Mityana-Manyi-Kanoni road after the Kawasuma swamp section collapsed, bringing traffic to a standstill and preventing both vehicles and pedestrians from crossing for several hours. However, an official from the Citizens Track and Monitor Service Delivery Unit in the Office of the President, Haj Abdu Muyimbwa, who was on the ground monitoring government programs, alerted the Ministry of Works and Transport. The ministry responded promptly by deploying heavy machinery to repair the affected section, restoring movement and normal business operations. Residents of Busuju have since praised President Yoweri Museveni for his recent pledge to tarmac the Mityana-Manyi-Kanoni road, as well as for expanding piped water supply to Banda Town Council and other development initiatives across Busuju and Mityana district. During his visit to the Banda Town Council water pumping station, Haji Abdu Muyimbwa encouraged residents to take an active role in tracking government projects and demanding accountability from their local leaders to ensure value for money.
This is a new development by the Ministry of Water and Environment to bring water nearer to the people.
He further cautioned district and political leaders tasked with supervising government programs to uphold transparency, integrity and proper use of public resources, noting that this is essential for effective and quality service delivery.
That if these projects are being implemented in a budgetary convenient manner and people also doing this transparently, all the people will be served in Banda Town Council.
State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has intervened in a land dispute in Luweero district. The minister ordered arrests over alleged land grabbing and fraudulent land titles involving a 22-acre piece of land in Zirobwe.
The Minister of Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has personally intervened in a Luweero land dispute involving a 22-acre plot in Janda village, Zirobwe sub-county, claimed by descendants of the late Yosam Serwanga.
You don't know the pain I have at my heart. You don't know the pain I have at my heart. You don't know.
Residents accuse land dealer Ahmed Ali, known as Chemical Ali, of issuing a fake title and attempting to evict rightful owners.
Atenga omuntu mukutte ne bangamba omuntu obuye mutwale eruweero bwe natuuka eruweero nze kabira kati ate nze basibe munze.
Minister Mayanja condemned the illegal activities, personally returning evicted elders to their homes and directing police to secure the land. Sentongo has been arrested and investigations into illegal land dealings and police collusion are ongoing.
Oluseita Alaya Semwemba Ahmed Oluseita Alias Chemical Ali number 1 akwatibwe uttering false document. Ebebe yakolanga akyusa, she's not the administrator. That was illegal. Uttering false document. Number 1 akwatibwe on basis of that count.
The minister's action has reassured the community, restoring hope for justice and preventing further unlawful evictions in Luwero. Jamil Sekaja compiled the story.
The Ministry of Finance has highlighted major economic reforms implemented since 1986. Permanent Secretary Ramadan Gobi said the reforms have laid a strong foundation for long-term growth and wealth creation.
Uganda has registered notable economic gains under the leadership of the National Resistance Movement NRM, according to the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Ramadan Gobi. The country's exports have grown to $13.4 billion, attributed to agricultural modernization and value addition initiatives. Tourism has also recovered, earning $1.7 billion, supported by improved infrastructure and the revival of Uganda Airlines.
We are now exporting goods, like I told you already, coffee, $2.2 billion, gold, $4.2 billion, manufactured products, $2.4 billion. We have cocoa, $620 million, milk products.
Gobi highlighted progress in infrastructure and energy, noting that electricity generation has increased to 2,051 megawatts, raising national access to power to about 60%. He said this expansion has supported industrialization, growth of regional cities, and private sector development. He added that investments in roads, water, and electricity across regional cities are boosting productivity, with domestic revenue projected at about 37 trillion shillings in the current financial year.
Electricity access has increased to 60% of the population, up from 51% in 2020, 51%. This is driven by grid expansion, but also solar solutions and last mile connectivity.
Dr. Gobi cited NRM wealth creation programs as key to social transformation, saying poverty levels have declined from 68% to about 33%, with youth and women benefiting from targeted interventions. Under the NRM's long-term vision, Uganda aims to expand investment under EACOP and Vision 2040, focusing on agro-industrialization, tourism, minerals, and information technology. Government targets increasing domestic revenue to 20% of GDP within 5 years to finance education, health, and infrastructure. He said continued investment in education, science, and innovation is critical to sustaining economic gains.
The government has committed to implement a 10-fold growth strategy to expand the size of the economy to $500 billion by 2040 and create more jobs by focusing resources on the 4 anchor sectors of agro-industrialization, tourism, minerals, and science, technology, and innovation, including the creative arts.
Separately, the NRM Deputy Secretary Rose Namayanja said the party is ready to receive President Museveni at his final rally scheduled for Tuesday at Kololo Independence Ground ahead of the 2026 general elections. Namayanja said structures are fully mobilized, including trained polling assistants and voters, to ensure a smooth and credible electoral process.
The strategy was not just about the rallies, other than the campaign rallies that the national chairman and presidential candidate was conducting. We also undertook a grassroots mobilization strategy.
The Uganda Wildlife Authority has begun translocating white rhinos to Ajai Wildlife Reserve in Madiokolo. 4 rhinos have already been moved from Ziwa Sanctuary as part of efforts to restore Uganda's conservation heritage. Take a look.
The translocation of 4 white rhinos in Ajai Wildlife Reserve in Madiokolo district has been successfully completed following a highly specialized and carefully coordinated operation led by wildlife veterinarians and conservation experts. The rhinos were tranquilized, subjected to comprehensive health checks, and safely loaded onto specialized transport trucks before beginning a journey of about 4 hours to Ajai Wildlife Reserve. Upon arrival, the animals were released into their new habitat, officially marking their return to a protected landscape where rhinos once roamed freely before becoming locally extinct several decades ago. Uganda Wildlife Authority says the initiative is aimed at reviving Ajai's conservation legacy, boosting tourism, and strengthening peaceful coexistence between wildlife and surrounding communities.
We are supposed to bring 20 rhinos here. We first brought 2, today we've brought 2. So we have 4 rhinos healthy and successfully delivered, and as I speak, they are roaming Ajai Wildlife Reserve. I'm sure the communities, they were upbeat, they were happy because they have a connection with rhinos. So to us, this is a good job done. Now, what is remaining is to continue to work towards bringing the remaining 16.
Residents and local leaders turned up in large numbers to witness the historic reintroduction, describing it as a proud moment for the region and a renewed opportunity for conservation-driven development. WUWA emphasizes that community participation will be central to the project, with sustained sensitization programs planned to prevent human-wildlife conflict and ensure surrounding communities directly benefit from conservation efforts.
I'm very happy to restore this reserve, because we used to hear reserve but we don't see animals. After that we started seeing animals, the smaller ones, the bamboos. But now today I've seen the rhinos.
Before these rhinos have been brought here, the community has been taught, they have been taught sincerely, they have been sensitized about these rhinos here.
We are aware that rhinos require a different set of security. That's why you see the reserve is big, but also we are constructing a fence where there will be a sanctuary, because you need to ensure that they don't go to the communities. You need to ensure that they are safe at every point. We have trackers who are going to be tracking these rhinos 24/7.
According to the WUWA Assistant Commissioner for Communications, Hangi Bashir, the long-term goal is to establish a stable and breeding white rhino population at Ajai Wildlife Reserve. He adds that reviving the reserve is expected to stimulate domestic tourism and create new revenue streams for the Madiokolo sub-region. Uganda currently has 59 white rhinos with 20 earmarked for introduction to Ajai Wildlife Reserve and Kidopo Valley National Park. This move builds on earlier efforts to restore Ajai's ecological value, including the 2023 translocation of Uganda kob and buffaloes. With the return of the rhinos, Ajai Wildlife Reserve is steadily reclaiming its place on Uganda's conservation and tourism map. Sila Kagugube compiled this report for UBC.
Indeed, what a sight to see. UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company. On behalf of the team working tirelessly behind the scene and myself, we do wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Following a directive from His Excellency the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, working with the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, conducted a comprehensive re-verification exercise to identify and revalidate project-affected persons, PAPs, impacted by the National Oil Palm Project in Buvuma District. Subsequently, government released 14 billion Uganda shillings to compensate the project-affected persons in Buvuma District as part payment of the total compensation value of 28 billion Uganda shillings. 301 out of 1,504 project-affected persons have been fully paid in the 5 villages of Bubembe, Bwaka, Buanga, Mbekete and Ndaiga. Unfortunately, Payments for another 158 project-affected persons have been bounced by the banks because of mistakes in completing bank account details. These mistakes include mismatches between the account names and numbers, wrong account numbers, and closed accounts. The ministry appeals to the project-affected persons to check in New Vision and Bukede newspapers editions of 9th January 2026 and at the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer, COW Office in Buvuma, and resubmit their bank details through the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer of Buvuma District. The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries is continuing with the exercise and appeals to the district local government leadership to mobilize all project-affected persons in Buvuma District to participate in the final re-verification that will be undertaken by the Ministries of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Lands, Housing and Urban Development, and Local Government from Thursday 8th to Wednesday 14th January 2026. The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries appeals for cooperation from all stakeholders during this exercise. The schedule of engagement with the claimants, PUPs, in Buvuma goes as follows. On 9th January, Team 1 will be in Wenyenja Village, Nairambi Sub-County from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Team 2 will be in Butende Village, Busamuzi Sub-County from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Team 3 will be in Bukinarwa Village, Nairambi Sub-County from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. On the 10th of January 2026, Team 1 will be in Bugabo Village, Busamuzi Sub-County from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Team 2 will be in Tome Village, Buvuma Town Council from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Team 3 will be in Musatu Village, Nairambi Sub-County from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. On the 11th of January, Team 2 will be in Nachuafu Village, Busamuzi Sub-County from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Team 3 will be in Bubere Village, Buvuma Town Council from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Team 1 will be in Butende Village, Busamuzi Sub-County from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And Team 2 will be in Busamuzi Village, Busamuzi Sub-County from 12